Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Choochin on a Tuesday afternoon. I was walking up here today, and I always think I do some of my best thinking when I'm walking, and I was just wondering how many times I've made this walk down these railroad tracks over the last 3.5 years. Anybody need a shopping cart? What you call the end of the line there, and it just I don't know, call it estrogen emotion, call it what you will. Seems like every time I have my bi-weekly shot, it's almost inevitable 3 or 4 days later I always have these emotional jags that I go on. And I guess it's just a cycle of, you know, the hormone building up in you. But you do have a very emotional times of the month, times where you feel like you could cry at the drop of a hat, times of the month where you feel very sentimental, and you find yourself missing people in your life. And I said it last week, I think I mentioned it in an afternoon chooch, that when you get right down to it in life, things are good, but people are great. And reconnecting with the Janet and the boss last weekend and spending time with them was really priceless to me. It was really drilled home to me the importance of having people in your life, especially if you're what you might call one of society's outliers. Maybe you're a professional van dweller, a boondocker, somebody doesn't want to be a ham and egger. Well, you're an outlier of society. Somebody who's transgendered or just gets by dressing to relieve the pressure of the feeling they get of being transgender. You're an outlier of society. And you can just go on. You understand what I'm saying. The list goes on and on. We all make decisions in life, and we all live with those decisions, and those decisions stick with us a long, long time. And just being able to rekindle my friendship and take a big step back and look at my life over the weekend and say, whoa, I could have lost all this if I wasn't careful. Now you might say, oh, Rosie, you're being so dramatic about stuff. But sometimes I forget that people have feelings, and sometimes I put my own selfishness, you know, oh, I got my RV and I got to do this and I got to do that. You don't have to do shit in life. You do it because you want to do it, because you pushed it up in a priority in your life, and go overboard, or you know, this, that, or the other thing that just consumes your attention. And the things that should really matter in your life pass by the wayside because, well, they're kind of like flowers or plants. If you don't water them and take care of them and give them attention and care, then one day you turn around and they're gone. So I'm lucky, you know, that I rekindled with them and admitted to the boss, my good friend, the boss, my best friend, along with Janet, that yeah, I was really self-absorbed the last few months with the RVing thing and thinking about retirement. And I apologize for that. And of course, the you know, the boss has a good big heart. Oh, it's all goodness. It's all goodness. And I'm thinking to myself, you dummy, you almost lost that in your life. And yeah, I have YouTube friends and they're great and I value them dearly. But to have friends in real life when you're an outlier is a pretty amazing thing. It's really an amazing thing. And you know, I don't want to overstate it, but you know, it was drilled home to me in my emotional period here. And even last night on YouTube, you reach realizations that you know, you're on YouTube because you love YouTube. You're not on YouTube. Any fancy thoughts you had about being some big muckety-muck, you throw that stuff out the window. You do YouTube 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, coming up on 4 years, and you realize you've carved out your niche. You've done what you're going to do, and then you realize that the real joy comes at this point by living and helping other people achieve their dreams. And I'm not talking about financial, but I'm talking about psychologically too. And I'm thinking last night was so amazing on the hangout that we had 3 hours where everybody came together. It was almost like Rosie's hangout. Trollorama was almost like neutral ice. Everybody was, even the worst outliers, everybody was welcome. And the feedback I got today, people messaging me and making comments that it was unreal that it went so well last night. And I never thought it would be so much fun. Well, because so many of us are outliers for whatever reasons, and we were all on an equal footing last night, whether it was a content creator, whether it was a so-called troll, the worst outliers. We were all on an equal footing last night, and it was pretty amazing to me to experience that. And you know, when somebody like Debbie Lynn comes in, and Debbie Lynn, you know, very talented, and is being picked up by potentially going on to a TV series, maybe on A&E, Cosmic Sisterhood or something like that, and just feeling that pride that you have somebody in your life that, you know, can blast off from this outlier maybe and really achieve success or something. It didn't make me, maybe it's because of my age or whatever, or it just made me proud to have her as a friend, so unassuming and such a nice gal. And I thought, if not me, then definitely her. And it made me very, very, very happy last night, and I went to bed with a smile on my face. That's what I'm talking about, friends, and being there with friends, and being there for friends, and the realization that you get older and you reach a point where you start to put things into perspective in life about what really matters for the final turning, for the home stretch. You know, are you going to make it in glory and be proud of yourself in the winner's circle, or are you going to feel like somebody that just casts a real dark shadow with your life? I remember one of the most useful exercises when I was transitioning and going through counseling, and you know, the counselor made each of us write a letter. Describe yourself as you think your friends see you, and be honest about it. Well, at that time, I didn't particularly like what I put down on paper, so I set about to change that, and I suggest all of you engage in that exercise, to take a piece of paper and write down, describe yourself as you think others see you in the YouTube community and in life. Do you like what you see? Something to think about. Anyway, like I say, there's been a lot of food for thought on my plate lately. All of us tomorrow could be gone, you never know. And the older you get, the more and more you get the sense that you only have a certain amount of time, and you've got to make the best of it And maybe your best of it is being on a sailboat and going around the world and enjoying life. Maybe your best of it is being a community volunteer. It could be a million things, a community volunteer. I guess I'm saying you can flow through life, or you can make your life count for something. And you know, thanks to the boss and Janet, and a wonderful weekend with Bobby and Jen, it's helped me get regrounded again, and grateful for what I do have in life, and not concerned about what I may never have. Because now suddenly that stuff doesn't mean as much to me anymore, and maybe that's a good thing. All right, guys, thanks for being along. Another probably our 400th, 400th Chooch down by the railroad tracks. Thanks for being along.